We've got more spoilers. It is Thursday, April 4th, and we have got more spoilers to talk about. War of the Spark is on its way. I say we just get into it. Jake, you got anything to add?
We're going to Penn and Teller this whole thing.
What does that mean?
No, I shouldn't have said anything because you talked and I should just been like, nope.
Oh, because Teller doesn't talk. I see. Yeah.
No, it's okay. It's
the
okay.
pendulette.
Just leave all of this.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really fit that mold.
Yeah, everybody gets it.
Let's talk about the cards.
We're talking about the cards. Hello, and welcome to the day.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
I'm Jake.
I'm Joel. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Magic. We're about to talk about the last 2 days of spoilers. We've got 14 plus 8 cards to go, so 22 cards to look over. Before we do that, if you wouldn't mind doing us a favor, doing the good work, going down there and click that follow, subscribe. It really helps us so much.
Any button you can find. Just
get down
click
there.
A button.
Tell a friend about our channel too. That would be a great favor. Let's talk about War of the Spark spoilers.
Yeah, so we are going over right now Wednesday, April 3rd.
Yes, I just pulled them up right here. We've got Death Sprout, Leyline Prowler, so you kind of know where we're at in the spoiler season.
Let's talk about Limited, baby.
Oh, man.
Holy crap.
Let's not even just talk about Limited. Let's talk about Leyline Prowler, who is I assume who you're talking about. Leyline Prowler, look, we have seen Vampire Nighthawk in Standard. We have seen Gifted Aetherborn recently in Standard. This is a card that is a house in Limited, of course.
This is a
but
rare.
It could be Standard play.
This is absolutely a rare card. Like, it's just so good, man.
I'm with you. It is a Gifted Aetherborn. 2/3 Death Touch Lifelinker.
Yeah.
Those get played.
Oh, but then, add 1 mana of any color, so enjoy that.
Right, you got a Bird of Paradise tied onto it. We can't scroll much further down without talking about Death Sprout. Death Sprout, with this new Seb McKinnon art, first off, I mean, what can we say about Seb McKinnon? It's killer once again, but this card is going to be a Commander staple at the very least.
Yeah, it's another amazing Limited card. I can't believe it's not sorcery speed. It seems like it would be sorcery speed.
Yeah. Instant speed, mana ramp, creature destruction. Ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a hell of an EOT turn 4 to just be like, in response, destroy your big guy. I'll search for a land. Get ready for me to play a 6 cost.
Right, exactly. Untap, drop a 6 land, play a Carnage Tyrant. How you doing?
Yeah, enjoy that. Another card that's really cool, I mean, we have Single Combat, which is, just like a kind of a janky board wipe I'm not too excited about.
Single Combat's kind of terrible.
But Nahiri, Storm of Stone.
Pretty cool to see Nahiri and Sorin back. That was kind of the theme of the Wednesday spoilers, was Nahiri and Sorin showing up, but not giving about the whole Bolas thing happening, just wanting to fight each other.
Bro, this card is so good. Like, equip abilities you activate cost 1 less.
Yeah.
Like, this is, like, immediately, even though it's uncommon, it's so EDH playable.
Absolutely it is.
I think dude, 6 loyalty, and it can just, start cleaning up the board. It's like a must answer in a lot of ways. This is the kind of
card that I would build a brawl deck around if Brawl came to Arena. I actually tweeted either today or yesterday that now would be a great time for them to introduce Brawl to Arena, because you've got this enormous influx of legendary planeswalkers and even some new legendary creatures to go with all the ones that we already have. Yeah. And it would be a great time to, jump into that. But, I mean, this is one I would build around. Let's scroll down.
I think it's such a cool card. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let's scroll down. We got Godpharaoh's statue, which is funny. I saw somebody today make the joke, we're not going to Tron in Modern. We're not going to Tron ramp into Urza anymore. We're going to Tron ramp into Godpharaoh's statue.
Oh, God. And you should.
Right.
Just absolutely should.
Absolutely. Sorin's Thirst, which I think actually will make it into Standard after Moment of Craving rotates out, because, I mean, this is the kind of card, again, you see these cards get played in Standard. And then you got Sorin Vengeful Bloodlord, the most rad Sorin art I've ever seen.
Very, very cool Sorin art. I think the Planeswalker itself, it's okay. It's not great, but I do like the -X.
I like the passive that's built into this one because the +2 is fine, the -X is solid, but the passive is pretty cool to have. Just
essentially an
as a side
enchantment.
effect.
It's just like, oh, your dudes have lifelink,
right?
Yeah,
and Planeswalkers.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
So right here, I'm gonna have to click on him so that we can get the translation. But we have got Krenko. Whenever Krenko attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Then create X/1/1 red goblin creature tokens where X is its power. I mean, this is gonna replace the goblin that's in all the red and black and green decks right now.
This card, get ready, man, because this is going to be the card that people are complaining about the most.
Here, you can see I've already got the tab open up here
Just
for you to
bring
talk
it up.
about your combo.
Bring it up. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gets +X/+X. So Krenko in a Boros tokens, just like a go wide.
Right.
And then it swings by itself.
Crazy.
And on the attack is when it's getting the tokens. So you have to like kill Krenko before it attacks, or else you're netting value before Krenko even does damage.
Yep.
It does not say deals damage. It says attacks.
When it attacks, that's going to be a scary card to see around, and will probably be standard played.
But then also, Joel, you know, the all of the pump spells that exist as well.
Right.
So you can keep Krenko out of, like, the fact that Krenko has a 2 toughness, I think is going to be really, really, really annoying.
Oh yeah, it would be rad to be able to play him on turn 3, untap. As you move into your attack phase, cast Colossus. So he's a 5 power. Swing.
But then also the versatility that the card has if you pair it with something like Maximize Velocity.
Right.
Where it's like you could just play it, throw Maximize Velocity on Krenko. Krenko swings with haste. I believe Maximized Velocity gives it +1/+1 as well.
Yeah, I believe
so.
It does.
Yeah, so he's netting. I mean, I just think this card is so good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Here we got some art looks at what the Eternals look like, not on Amonkhet. I must say, pretty cool how they've chosen to execute this. Just, I mean, with the Phyrexians, you've got this army, you've got this invading force that is really derived from the color black, and so they live around the black color palette. You got now an Eternals army that is like this brilliant blue, royal blue with gold, and those are the bad guys. That's pretty cool to me.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. And I mean, we see hippos, we see zombie beasts.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
like,
get all these Egyptian-inspired, you know, enemies and creatures that are invading. It's so tight.
So from a lore standpoint, Joel, this is what's left over from Amonkhet.
So this is what he was doing, Bolas was doing on Amonkhet, was having people fight to the death and then immortalizing them and basically putting them in a crypt. And when he got there, he had the best of all the warriors that have just been honed and fought in battle forever, immortalized and waiting on him to be like an unbreakable zombie army. We only got one real good look at him in one set because they showed up towards the end of Amonkhet when Bolas showed back up. And so now we're getting a really solid look at them, and they look awesome to me. They really do. It's cool to have that artistic variance to Phyrexians, who, I mean, if Wizards is gonna keep up this boxing match that they've been doing in the past year and a half, where they're just like solid knockout, solid knockout, with all their choices, then Phyrexians are gonna come back. And so it's nice to have a juxtaposition of that with the Eternals. It'll be tight when Bolas has to go up against all the Phyrexian guild leaders. That'll be a pretty sweet battle. Yeah,
that's cool.
Moving on, we got a legendary zombie elf wizard 5/4 for 4 with trample. When it deals combat damage, return a creature or planeswalker that wasn't put there this turn. Or this combat, excuse me.
Another great, and dude, it's good. Yeah, it's a good card.
It's a pretty cool one. So that gets us back to Tuesday, which we haven't really talked about. We had Fibblethip, I think is how we pronounce it.
If I saw that on like a video game, I'd be like, oh, it's just a bot account.
That is Fibblethip the Lost. He's got his own card now in Legendary, as well as the return of Neheb. And look at this. Legendary creature, zombie, minotaur warrior. Yeah. That is like the smallest that I've ever seen all that text.
Yeah.
Cool card here. We got the Eternal Taskmaster that I think is probably going to see some standard play. Comes into play tapped, but it's a 2/3 for 2. Right, it's so good. When it attacks you, you return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand for 3 mana. I think that this is going to form the solid, you know, like 2-drop of a zombie deck that we're going to have to contend with for the next 6 to
Dude, it's got a
months to year.
3 toughness, and every single time you don't answer it, you just net value. Like if you're playing a creature-centric deck, and you get this card to resolve, I would just not play any cards from my hand until they answer this card. I would just keep getting everything out of my yard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And here you've got Dreadhorde Arcanist. This is one that inspired a lot of conversation yesterday, maybe even being a modern level card, because when it attacks, you're casting instants and sorceries from your graveyard without paying their mana cost equal to or less than his power, and then exiling it. So you've got a red, you know, Snapcaster Mage that at the very least in Modern is recasting your Shocks and your Lightning Bolts. And yeah, I'm telling you, man, that card could be very, very good.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Wow. So I didn't even see this. Dreadhorde has been a huge topic of conversation, and look for this card to. This is their modern card. And it's not legendary.
Right.
It's not legendary.
Oh no, not at all. Burn has got a toy for sure.
Bro, I think we were just talking about maximize velocity, but I think the important thing to make sure with this card is that the turn you play it is swinging. It can never sit, because in Modern they're going to answer it. So you have to wait.
It's got to get answered. You know, it may be able to survive to an untap in Standard if somebody's able to break it. But I mean, we've seen a lot of instant and sorcery based decks that all are cantripping around 1-mana spells. So
I think it could be like a red white burn. Yeah.
Other than that, we got Dreadhorde Butcher, which is a 1/1 for 2 hasty when it deals combat damage to either a player or Planeswalker, which I think is an excellent caveat. Put a +1/+1 counter on it, and then when it dies, it's going to zap you for however much its power is.
Yeah, so I was looking at this card earlier, the Dreadhorde Butcher.
Yeah.
And so you throw like Colossus on this, I believe is a card, +4/+2. And then you, like, when this dies, dude, what's the card that Thud?
Yeah.
Dude.
Right. This is going to be a fun card to build around, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it reminds me of like Swing and Fling. It's very like if you don't answer this card, it could just get there all by itself.
Exactly. Past that, on Tuesday, we got 2 other cards of note. Totally Lost, which is our limited removal that will have Fibblethip, and you know, it'll get some play there. And then we've got what's going to make the zombie deck work in Standard, I think.
Grixis Zombies.
Right,
yeah.
Which is zombie tokens you control get hexproof and menace for a 1/4/3 that amasses when it enters the battlefield. That is pretty silly.
The 4-butt on this card is really sad.
You gotta lava coil it or nothing. That's your only option.
Yeah, this card is absolutely going to be a build around.
You know, I say that, but then I also don't. I'm not even considering. Let's go down deeper in the spoilers. I'm not even considering that this card is in Standard now. We can just consider it in Standard. Black 2 other target creature gets -5/-5. Exile it if it dies. That's a Standard playable card. We're gonna deal with that one for the next year.
Oh, so, hardcore! And dude,
maybe 4-butts aren't as big a deal as we think.
Grasp of Darkness is the -4/-4.
Yeah.
And if I recall correctly, Grasp of Darkness is black, right?
Oh,
and
yeah. You're right.
And this card is hardcore played in Standard when it was around.
Oh, yeah.
And the mana on it is so restrictive, it's annoying. This other card for 1 mana extra is answering like all these angels, dude. Like, it answers Lyra.
Exactly.
Like, that's enough of a
That's
reason.
why I know immediately that it's going to be in, is because it's the Lyra answer. But the fact that, I mean, it's just instant speed, only 3 mana, not mana restrictive, -5/-5. I'm saying all that to say that, you know, maybe the 4-butt on creatures isn't going to be as strong anymore, because pretty much right now you've got Lava Coil or direct removal with Assassin's Trophy or, you know, Vraska's Contempt, anything like that. But that for 3 mana, non-mana restrictive, is going to ace cards like this. So who knows? I mean, so far, this set is blowing me away.
Super duper 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 fun.
I am hyped on this set. I'm hyped on limited on this set so far. I'm hyped for what it's going to do to standard on in the next couple months, and for the next year. It's going to be around for a while. Thanks everybody for watching. Check back, you know, during these spoilery times, we're going to be posting one of these every day or every day that we can. So look forward to seeing the rest of this set with y'all.
Yep, it is going to be a wild ride. So make sure that you have invested in wild rides.
Yeah, absolutely.